Tensions in the South China Sea have flared once again as Chinese Coast Guard vessels used powerful water cannons against Philippine government ships near the disputed Scarborough Shoal. The latest confrontation marks the third major incident in just 1 week, raising fresh concerns about regional stability. While top diplomats from Southeast Asia and global powers gathered in Manila to discuss the growing maritime crisis. As ASEAN leaders push for peace and negotiations, the events unfolding at sea suggest that the situation remains highly volatile. What exactly happened? Why are these encounters becoming more frequent? And what could this mean for the future of the South China Sea? The newest incident occurred on Friday near Scarborough Shoal, one of the most disputed areas in the South China Sea. According to the Philippine Coast Guard, a Chinese Coast Guard vessel aggressively approached one of the Philippines' Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources ships to within just 7 meters, or about 23 feet. Such a close approach created what Philippine authorities described as an extremely dangerous risk of collision. Moments later, Chinese vessels reportedly fired high-pressure water cannons at 2 Philippine fisheries ships that were conducting a government mission in the area. The Philippines strongly condemned the incident, describing China's actions as reckless, dangerous, and unprofessional. Officials in Manila reiterated that Scarborough Shoal lies within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone and remains part of Philippine territory under international law. Beijing offered a very different version of events. The China Coast Guard stated that several Philippine government vessels, including 3 Coast Guard ships, had entered what China considers its territorial waters. Chinese authorities said they issued repeated verbal warnings before deploying interception measures, including the use of water cannons to drive the Philippine vessels away. China also warned Manila to immediately stop what it described as infringing and provocative actions, adding that the Philippines would bear the consequences if similar operations continue. The conflicting narratives once again highlight the deep disagreement between the two countries over sovereignty in the South China Sea. Scarborough Shoal has remained a flashpoint for more than a decade. Located roughly 120 nautical miles west of the Philippine island of Luzon, the shoal is strategically important because of its rich fishing grounds and its location along one of the world's busiest maritime trade routes. Although an international arbitration tribunal ruled in 2016 that China's expansive claims have no legal basis under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, Beijing rejected the ruling and continues to maintain control over the area. Since then, Chinese Coast Guard and maritime militia vessels have maintained a constant presence around the shoal, while Philippine government ships regularly conduct patrols and resupply missions. These overlapping activities have resulted in repeated confrontations, many involving dangerous maneuvers and water cannon attacks. Friday's clash was not an isolated event. Just days earlier, another confrontation occurred at the Second Thomas Shoal. During that encounter, 2 Philippine sailors were reportedly injured after Chinese Coast Guard personnel allegedly struck them with wooden poles during a tense face-to-face confrontation. The Philippines accused China of using excessive force against its personnel. China, however, rejected those allegations and instead accused Philippine sailors of attacking Chinese officers with oars and long sticks. Both governments continue to blame each other for escalating tensions, making diplomatic efforts increasingly difficult. The timing of Friday's incident was particularly significant. It happened while foreign ministers from the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, commonly known as ASEAN, were meeting in Manila alongside partners from major global powers. The South China Sea was one of the most important issues discussed during the multi-day meetings. In their joint statement, ASEAN foreign ministers expressed concern over continued land reclamation, dangerous activities, and serious incidents that threaten the safety of people operating in the disputed waters. The ministers also voiced concern about environmental damage caused by ongoing activities in the region. Although ASEAN did not directly name China, the message clearly reflected growing anxiety over repeated confrontations in the South China Sea. Despite the rising tensions, ASEAN and China reported that negotiations over a long-awaited code of conduct have made significant progress. The proposed agreement aims to establish rules that reduce the risk of military confrontation, improve communication, and encourage peaceful management of disputes. ASEAN officials said they hope negotiations can be completed this year. However, observers note that while diplomatic discussions continue, incidents at sea have become more frequent. Many analysts believe that unless concrete enforcement mechanisms are included in the agreement, confrontations between Coast Guard vessels may continue despite diplomatic progress. The United States remains deeply involved in developments across the South China Sea. On the sidelines of the ASEAN meetings, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio met with Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi. Among the issues discussed was the recent confrontation at the Second Thomas Shoal. Both sides reportedly described the incident as escalatory, highlighting international concern over the growing risk of accidental conflict. Washington has repeatedly reaffirmed its commitment to its mutual defense treaty with the Philippines. American officials have also emphasized the importance of freedom of navigation and adherence to international law throughout the Indo-Pacific. As tensions continue to rise, the possibility of greater U.S. involvement remains an important factor shaping regional security. The South China Sea is far more than a regional dispute. An estimated one-third of global maritime trade passes through these waters every year, making it one of the world's most important shipping routes. The region is also believed to contain significant reserves of oil and natural gas while supporting one of the world's richest fishing industries. Because several countries, including the Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, Brunei, and China, claim overlapping areas, even relatively small maritime incidents have the potential to create wider diplomatic crises. Every confrontation is closely monitored by neighboring countries and major global powers alike. The latest water cannon incident near Scarborough Shoal demonstrates that tensions in the South China Sea remain far from resolved. While ASEAN leaders continue to promote dialogue, diplomacy, and peaceful negotiations, confrontations at sea continue to challenge those efforts. With China maintaining its expansive claims, the Philippines asserting its rights under international law, and major powers such as the United States closely watching developments, the South China Sea is likely to remain one of the world's most closely watched geopolitical hotspots. Whether future negotiations can successfully reduce tensions or whether more confrontations lie ahead remains uncertain. One thing is clear: every new encounter at sea adds another chapter to one of the most complex maritime disputes of the 21st century. What do you think about the latest confrontation near Scarborough Shoal? Will diplomacy help reduce tensions, or are more incidents inevitable? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this update, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more military and geopolitical news from around the world. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.